We have been to every track we will visit this year here in the Wawa Cup Series, and it leaves 2 more races on the schedule before we crown a champion. 2 places we have already been to, but 2 places that are incredibly hard to predict. The first of these 2 races is here at the World Center of Racing and the Daytona International Speedway. And tonight, before the big race next week, it's the penultimate race of the season in the 2023 Wawa Cup Series. It's the 10th running of the Valvoline 400 here at Daytona. It's the 9th race, the penultimate race of the season here in the Wawa Cup Series chase. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to Daytona. And this race has been circled on the calendars of all of these drivers all year long. And after that race we had last week at Watkins Glen, that completely crunched this championship battle right back up, this race is bigger than it ever has been. Join alongside Caleb Rose for the call of this one here tonight. These chase drivers are starting all over the place here in this Valvoline 400. The points leader is Nicholas Samedeo, your driver. He starts all the way in 33rd. There's 40 laps and no pit stops. What do these guys need to do, and more particular, your driver, Nicholas Samedeo, need to do to get up front and have an opportunity at winning the championship next weekend at Darlington?
Well, Daytona is one of those tracks that you could probably consider to be a cycle race where you don't really usually see a dominant driver. We usually see people swap the lead back and forth, so probably the thing you want to look out for here is drivers wanting to make right moves at the right time. And also you need to stay alert here because it is a super speedway. You want to watch out for accidents, wrecks, and potentially the big one like we saw in the Daytona 500 earlier this year, very early on in the race. So, and plus with everyone else being antsy with the season winding down, this could be very interesting to see what all these drivers do.
It's going to be incredibly interesting to see how this championship battle ends up shaking up at the end of the night. There is one driver who has a clear advantage on everyone, though, at least in terms of the starting lineup, and that is Braden Perez, who lost the points lead last week at Watkins Glen after being one of the multiple drivers involved in that accident on lap 6. He starts 7th here today. But the other drivers in championship contention include Nicholas Samedeo, the points leader, starting in 33rd like we mentioned. Thomas Troxel, an issue in qualifying, starts 39th. He's 4 points behind. Braden Perez, 5 points behind, starting 7th ahead of all of these drivers. Drew Webb, he's still very much in championship contention, 8 points behind and starting 14th here tonight. Travis Crampton, runner-up last week at Watkins Glen. He starts in the 20th position. He's 17 points behind. Chase Buck is 19 points behind and starting 25th. Matt Tuck is 26 points behind and starting 32nd. And then Ludovic Charette, the only other driver who realistically has any opportunity at winning this championship, he starts in the 17th position, 36 points behind. LJ Semedo and Seth Cole are essentially mathematically eliminated as, they still have a chance, but if any of these drivers leave this race with a 46-point deficit or more, they are eliminated from championship contention, as the maximum amount of points you can get in a race is 46 for winning and leading the most laps. We'll have to see how this race plays out. We could see a caution-free race. All the races we have had this week leading up to this Valvoline 400 have been caution-free. And we've seen a lot of dominance out of certain drivers in some of these races as well. But the ratings are so rich and full at this point in the season. We got the driver ratings and the owner ratings essentially worked up to the max from 30 different ratings forms. There's only one more left to go, and you guys have already filled it out for next week's race at Darlington. So it's going to be very interesting to see if any of these drivers do have an advantage as this race goes along. But all these guys want to get a win before the end of the season as well, and there are 30 other drivers in this race who are not in the chase who want to get that race victory, including our pole sitter, Eric Monaco, and the number 41. And he starts alongside chase driver LJ Semedo there on the front row, but as we have mentioned, Semedo essentially out of championship contention. He's 81 points behind, and a miracle would have to happen for him to be an opportunity at Darlington. Christian Master to the inside of Trinity Ida there in row number 2. We have Elijah Gordon and Sprint Series driver Spencer Garrison, and only his 3rd career start on the channel, finished 5th on Wednesday night. He'll be in this 5 for this race, and then the 5th place finisher will be in the 5 for the Southern 500 as well. We got a couple of chasers here. Braden Perez only 5 points behind to the inside of Seth Cole, and then a couple more Sprint Series drivers of Joe Rutkowski in the 77 and Philip Torres in the 85. Luna Lona in the 61, the sprint race there for Andrews Racing on Wednesday night. And there's Drew Webb in the 99, Ludovic Charette there in the 17th position, Travis Crampton in 20th, Chase Buck in 25th, Matt Tuck in 32nd, Nicholas Samadeo back in 33rd, and then Thomas Troxel there in 39th. Well, Caleb, you got some skin in the game in this championship, and I know you want to see Samadeo get the win, but who do you realistically think is going to get the win here tonight in the Valvoline 400?
Well, in a track like this, the winner seemingly just comes out of a hat. So I am just going to go with, we'll make it easy. We'll go with the pole sitter, the 41 of Eric Monaco to win this race.
How about that? We'll see if Monaco can get his first win of the season. For Aaron Abel's team right there, a great qualifying effort for Racing Motorsports with Monaco and Master right on that inside lane. The focus will be on the win tonight, but also on where all these chase drivers finish, and you can't be 46 or more behind the points leader if you want to have a shot at the championship going into next week's Southern 500 for the finale race. So these guys are going to be aggressive. All 10 of these chase drivers will be ultra aggressive with an opportunity at a championship at hand. But it's Daytona, and it's the Valvoline 400, green flag in the air in the penultimate race of the season. And Christian Master is going to lead the first lap of the night here in the Valvoline 400. Like I mentioned, no pit stops necessary. They can make the entire race on the tank of fuel. And if we get a caution, it's only going to be a 2-lap caution period. Eric Monaco got shuffled in the middle. Spencer Garrison in the middle right there. But how about Elijah Gordon? And Braden Perez currently holding on to the points lead as they run, as he's the only championship competitor inside the top 15, essentially. They're 3 wide. They're shuffling all over the place. And boy, Caleb, does this make you a little nervous?
Actually, up 60 was working right there. Maybe trying to send it 4 wide. That's not what you want to do here, but we've already seen a bunch of shuffling around, and this does make owners a little bit nervous, especially seeing all of them shuffling around so much. It's a little bit tough once it starts to appear on our checkbooks next day.
Well, the good thing, this is a video game, and you guys aren't actually spending any actual money for all this, which is good, because after last week's wreck, I think we would have lost, I don't know, $10 million in damages from that wreck. Hey, hopefully we get another caution-free race. I know that might be a little, a little odd to say about a Daytona race. You always got to have the big one, but no, I mean, we've had a lot of great racing so far this week, and all the races have been caution-free leading up to this one. And honestly, with this championship battle going on as it is, I'd love to see it go caution-free and these guys just race it out. And Braden Perez in such a great position here. However, this is a long race. Even though it's only 40 laps and, they're going to get through it pretty quickly, still a lot of time for these guys like Sam Adio and Matt Tuck to work their way to the front of the field. I will say, though, one driver who is really holding this field at hand is Christian Master in this 43. They continue to battle for second here. They're 3 wide. There is Joe Rutkowski trying to get a little bit of redemption from what happened to him in the Daytona 500 earlier this year. Was in that 4 wide situation in that race and that big wreck that occurred at the beginning of the event. I'm sure he'd love to steal a cup win from these full-time guys, and Let's have some bragging rights there. And then Luna Lona won the sprint race on Wednesday. She's up here in the top 10, and a great run for her. Great run for Andrews Racing as a whole. Elijah Gordon in the top 10. And then their chase driver and championship competitor, Ludovic Charette, even though he's in the middle lane, still running top 15 right now on that 61.
Yeah, good thing about Daytona is that it gives almost every team a chance. Well, maybe except for Everbell Motorsports, but... Yeah, you see a lot of these teams that we haven't really seen that much up front up here. Like you said, Andrews Racing. You can see Ergel's team doing really well too. There's Sebastian Kukulon right there on the inside. You can see Philip Torres trying to hang up towards the front. You've got a big diversity of teams racing up here.
And I think this race, more so than a lot of the others, I think how good the car is means more than how good the driver is. And you're going to see some of the stronger teams really peak out here tonight. I think Andrews Racing, Titan Fury there, of course Team Williams, got Brian Webb there in the top 10, along with his teammate of Braden Perez. And you mentioned Everbell Motorsports, a team who, as we have been rather transparent about, has not done their ratings. You see Laura Chung and Zachary Fitzwater. Fitzwater's lost the draft already. Oh boy, it's a tough break for the number 9, and hopefully he'll get something to go his way in the truck series. Going to be driving for Skylar Taylor over there. Hopefully they do their ratings. I think they will. But just not been a good season for Fitzy, the all-time winningest driver on the channel, winless so far in 2023. But meanwhile, your guy, knock on wood, moving up, or at least trying to do so on this inside lane. But a bit of a gridlock up front right now as our points leader tries to catch up to the Braden Perez. At this point, it's just so hard to really determine who's going to be at the advantage in the points. I mean, the way they run, we know it's Braden Perez, but Crampton, moving up to the field here, he could gain on these guys quite a bit. San Mateo going to try to keep that points lead, but Drew Webb here, he's stuck in the outside lane and falling back in the 99. Currently running there in the 17th position, at least that's where he was the last time around.
Yeah, you don't really want to get stuck on that outside lane. Outside is usually the lane that gets the most momentum around here. But there is some occasions we see the outside work, but early on in the race, it's just not rubbered in yet. And if you go up there, you'll usually fall back as Semedo trying to make a move for the lead.
LJ Semedo, of course, he's essentially outside of championship contention at this point, especially if San Mateo continues to move up in that 59. And if that ends up being the case, Semedo really has nothing to lose, and he still has never gone to victory lane on the channel before. What a win it would be for LJ Semedo and this Titan Fury Racing team. I know that Igor is rooting for Drew Webb to have a great run and have the points lead going into the Southern 500 next week, but LJ Semedo, I would love to see this guy get a win. He's been racing for a long time and still has yet to get to victory lane. A great opportunity for him here tonight as he's looking to take this lead away from Christian Master. Travis Crampton, watch out for Crampton in this 98. This team has been so solid, and outside of what happened to him at Michigan, if Michigan did not happen, Crampton would be the points leader right now. And keep in mind, too, he was a wild card driver. He came in with no bonus points on the rest of the field, and by far, Crampton has been such an excellent driver in this chase, but he's got to be careful as Vargas moved to the inside of him. Now he's stuck in the middle lane. That's what happened to San Mateo, and now that 59's not moving up at all. Rutkowski making a move there, or at least looking to on Trinity Ida, unable to make the move work there, and you got Tanner Parton, Echo Evans Ross on the inside as well, as they're still side by side between Semedo and Master.
Now I think we're starting to see that outside lane rubber in a little bit, and also there seems to be a lot more cars back-to-back on the outside. Right now it's just Semedo and Ida, with Rutkowski a little ways back, but it looks like he's trying to catch up. But Master holding strong on that outside, and I think, he's going to clear Semedo for the time being.
And of course, we've seen drivers dominate these races in the Pro Series and in the Truck Series, but neither of the dominant drivers, at least the drivers who led the most laps in either of those races, went on the win. So, I don't know if you want to be in Master's position where you've led the most laps, because these guys, they'll figure something out on you, and all you got to do is beat them at the line on that last lap, and that's all it takes to get the race victory. We don't have any stage points either, so it really doesn't reward you to run well throughout the race. It just rewards you to be good right at the end, and that's definitely what a lot of these guys are thinking about. Ludovic Charette, what rally from 40th starting position last week at Watkins Glen for this driver. Comes in 36 behind, still within championship contention, looking to gain on San Mateo and all these guys, and he's about to crack the top 10 here. He's actually ahead of Crampton. Crampton got shuffled out of line right there. And other than Braden Perez, all the championship competitors have really struggled here tonight in this Valvoline 400. Ludovic Charetto moving to the outside lane. I've seen a lot of that. These guys moving to the middle and moving to the outside. And oh boy, that was tight there with Crampton switching lanes in the corner. He wants to get back on that inside, and you know what? He's going to do it. Look at that right there for the 98. And Crampton wants to win this race. Crampton wants another win going into that Southern 500. And Chase Buck also has an opportunity, and so does Matt Tuck. Even though Matt Tuck was involved in that wreck, he came in only 26 behind, and right now he's ahead of Nicholas San Mateo, who, I'm sorry, Caleb, is struggling right now. But so is Drew Webb, and so is Thomas Troxel. None of those guys have been able to move up through this field, and they got a ton of cars ahead of them right now.
Honestly, it's just a product of Daytona. We have people go to the front, drop back, and usually we see them come back, so we'll just have to see where these guys are once we get to the closing stages of the race.
And San Mateo and Troxel.
Crampton.
Yeah, they
really
were
trying to work around these guys. And good to see Ludovic Charette running up here with having a roller coaster of a season. No pun intended.
Yeah, he's got the Six Flags sponsorship there. I mean, it's been all over the place for Ludovic. And you just think if Richmond didn't happen for Ludovic, he would be, within single digits of San Mateo in the championship standings. I mean, all these chase drivers have had one race or another throughout the chase. Drew Webb has, had 3 of them, but he's still very much in contention because he's won all the other ones. But you go into a race like this, and you see the style of racing we have, and you just see how mixed up it is. And, I know Matt Tuck was telling me, we want to just be in contention going into Watkins Glen and Daytona, and that's what they were. And look at this. They are moving up through the field now, that 54, and you better believe Matt Tuck has a chip on his shoulder after last week. And about to crack the top 10 in that 54. We've seen a lot of these chasers crack the top 10, but then fall out of line. Crampton and Charette kind of fell behind on that outside. You got Daniel Paulus Jr., who was very strong. The full frontal guys were very strong in our last Super Speedway at Talladega. Rogel Dorn got that Mountain Dew 500 win. But Daniel Paulus Jr. also led a lot of laps in that race as well, and they're moving their way through the front, this inside lane.
This inside lane's moving right now is currently leading that inside lane's Trinity Ida, who's going for the lead, but Ego Evans Ross is going to make it 3 wide with the 42 of Tanner Parton. Parton's not going to be able to get down. Going to make it 3 wide for, I believe, the 4th position. As Master is once again going to clear Trinity Ida. Well, back when I said pre-race that we might not really see a dominant car, scratch that completely. Master has been schooling the field today.
Oh, and just as you say that, LJ Cimento. We saw this move in the truck race last night, and Derek Hamill ended up getting the race victory because of that move he made on Roberto Crown Jr. And the same thing really happened in the Pro Series race with Kinghart and Vinny Scholes as well. Cimento, though, Cimento wants a win. You just know he wants a win. He's got a great opportunity here tonight, running up front in this race. And Braden Perez, too, in terms of the championship right now, that 23 is in a great position because he's not really in a position to fall back, because he's been right behind this 43 pretty much this entire race, and he's looking pretty solid right there on that outside lane. But if you get certain drivers to move up, like Matt Tuck, Brady Mardigras moving his way up, and now you got San Mateo and Troxel back on that inside lane as well. If those guys get up front, they're going to be ultra aggressive, and they're going to be going for that race win, and they could split those guys up who have dominated this race so far. But Cimento to the inside of Master. Master's led the most laps so far, but Cimento definitely has a strong car and one to contend for this race victory here tonight.
For sure. I think probably about every round here has a chance at the win. But I think undoubtedly the 71 and the 43 just might be the strongest cars in the field.
Well, watch this back in here. Andrew Miller was almost in the outside wall back in there, and Justin Seidel to the inside. And certain drivers don't want Justin Seidel near them after what we saw last week. San Mateo moved back up to the outside right there. I don't know what these guys are doing. If there's just a little bit tough grip there, not as much grip on that inside lane, and they're just sliding up out of comfort or what. But even though we don't have a need for pit stops in this race, tire wear is still going to come into effect. You know, these guys are still wearing their tires out, and it's a little bit easier to run the outside lane on worn tires than it is on the inside lane, and that may be why some of these guys are gravitating up top. But Troxel now moving his way up a little bit, but with Perez in that position, Perez still going to be the points leader if they finish the way they currently run. Matt Tuck, on the other hand, though, I know he'd love to get around Perez, because the way it is right now, he really isn't gaining any of that 26-point gap, because Perez is 21 ahead, but about 5 positions ahead anyway, so you don't really want to go into Darlington with a 20-plus point gap. You probably want to be single digits if you want to have a chance at the championship, I feel like, going into next week's race, because next week's race, I feel like all the championship competitors are going to be running up front. It's such a ratings-based racetrack, and especially in terms of the drivers, and you absolutely want to be within single digits if you want to have a shot at the title. Echo Evans-Ross, a bold move there to the inside of Trinity Ida. That's for third, and she's going to be the driver right behind LJ Semedo here, but it's still the 71 and the 43 up front here at Daytona.
Big move by Evans-Ross, a really aggressive move. And Daniel Paulus Jr., the 44, is going to try to follow through. Evans-Ross going to maybe try to look 3 wide for second. Not able to get there right now. Now she is. And they're going to be 3 deep behind Christian Master for 2 rows.
Master loving what he's seeing behind him, because those guys are stalling each other out with the side draft. Echo Evans-Ross, Daniel Paulus Jr., and Matt Tuck going to shoot to the middle. Mardi Gras going to get to the inside of him right there. And then you got Brad Stover. Don't look now, Troxel moving up through the field as well. Sam Ineo's falling back again in the 59. This 59 struggling to just keep that thing up front and has fallen back a couple of times in this race. Drew Webb back on the inside. And behind your other driver there, Logan Williams. And then Crampton and Charette got stuck in that outside lane, and they've not been able to move themselves back to the inside. But we'll only be halfway next time by. So long ways left to go here in this Valvoline 400. And it's still anybody's race at this point. Even though Masters led the most laps, I feel like you put Echo Evans-Ross in the mix here, things are going to start to shake up quite a bit up front here in this Valvoline 400. Oh, and
for sure, and they're catching Zachary Fitzwater.
And there's also Chris Reynolds, who has lost the draft as well. And look at what they're doing now. I mean, they are 3 wide, and they got to be careful around this 9. Now, here's the thing. I don't think the 9 has any crash damage, so they should be able to join the number 9, or at least have the 9 join them in the pack, but there's still going to be a huge difference in speed as they come up to this number 9 machine, and it's going to be right about now. Master is single file, and Fitzwater almost blocking him right there in that middle lane, kind of getting held up a little bit. Now Echo Evans-Ross, and even though we haven't had a wreck in this race, the chess match is beginning already, so we're halfway through this Valvoline 400.
Zachary Fitzwater doesn't know where to go. It looked like he was going to stay high, then tried to come down low. Master was already there. Then went back to the middle, tried to come low again, and now he's up towards the high side, and here comes LJ Semedo.
And he's going to clear Master for the race lead right here. However, these guys will rejoin these guys, I should say. Rejoin. Trying to merge those words together. Now, here's the thing, we saw much worse in the 500 in terms of these guys closing in on the lap traffic. And Fitzwater not that far off the pace, but still off the pace enough where these guys are getting around him. But here's the big one. Braden Perez is held up behind this 9. And he's not been able to get around him, and he is losing ground. And Drew Webb has gotten around him, so has Matt Tuck. And Thomas Troxel in the 62. Now Troxel in the position to be the points leader going into the Southern 500 next week. But keep in mind, Drew Webb is now up here as well in the 99, and I'm sure these drivers do not want to see that 99 take the points lead at the end of this race, because Darlington is his wheelhouse. Those speedways have been the wheelhouse for this Titan Fury Racing organization. But Drew Webb now on the outside lane as the pack reforms up here. But Braden Perez is still behind Fitzwater. And that 23 is getting passed by everybody here. You got Jim Vincent left, moving to the inside of Seth Cole. And Cole's going to have a shot on Perez right here, and they just can't get around the 9. Perez is going to get him on the outside. But it took him long enough, and he lost enough ground because of it. Chase Buck going to slide up in front of Perez. This is stuff we did not used to see here at Daytona. But now with the ratings and just, like I said, how deep we are into the season with these guys, they are making some moves that, you know, you see in real life you didn't used to see in the game, but my goodness, it's some edgy racing out there, but it is entertaining as heck right now. And Echo Evans Ross
Sure.
in a battle there with LJ Cimento for second as Master continues to lead, and now they're going to have to do it again with Chris Reynolds. So we'll have to see how they get around the 18 this time.
All right, ready for round 2?
I think Fitzy's
Chris
finally
Reynolds.
joined the pack.
Probably isn't going to be as slow as Fitzwater, but still off the pace without the draft. He's going to stay in the middle. Master's going to go low. That's going to hold up Cimento and Troxel, though.
Mm-hmm.
And Drew
Braden-
Webb.
Yeah, Braden Perez on that inside lane now trying to regain. Matt Tuck moving up to the field in the
Matt
54.
Tuck.
And just like
He's
it
gonna
was
get-
with Fitzwater, you know, it's not as significant. These guys aren't closing in at 40 miles per hour faster, but it's still enough to slow them down and cause them to lose some positions. Chase Buck moving up in the 32. Braden Perez going to try to work that inside, and Cimento's got to be careful with this 18, almost on the quarter panel right there, trying to get around him. And I'm sure that 71 is not happy. He was up front a majority of this race and then got held up by that 18 machine. But like I said, I think they're going to get this 18 to join the pack as well, just like they had with Fitzwater. Fitzwater is now in the pack and starting to make some moves back in there. But both Fitzwater and Chris Reynolds are a lap down at this point. And you got Christian Master continuing the lead with Echo Evans Ross, Brady Mardi Gras. Matt Tuck is fourth. Matt Tuck wins this race, and all these other guys fall outside the top 10. Tuck's going to be right back in position going into Darlington to have a chance.
This is almost exactly what Matt Tuck wants to see right now. All these other cars struggling with lap traffic and falling back to the field. This is what he needs to get back into championship contention.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
Whoa, what a run.
Tuck was going to
He's
make a
take
move on
three.
Mardi Gras, and Mardi Gras had the same idea on Evans Ross, and they're 3 wide for second. And Matt Tuck, I feel like he's got a fast enough car to get to this 43 and get around him. No one's been able to beat the 43 in this race so far. I mean, Cimento's gotten a couple laps, but that 43's been up front all night long. Matt Tuck, though, side by side with Mardi Gras. That's slowing down them. How about Spencer Garrison? Only his third career start on the channel here. Was 5th place in the sprint race, and obviously because of issues that we've had, opened up a couple more rides here in the Cup Series, and 5th and 6th place also advanced on, and Garrison taking every opportunity, every advantage of this opportunity here, and he's running with the Chasers up in the top 5. Perez and Cimento back on that inside lane as well. Drew Webb still in the mix. One driver, yeah, I mean, Sam Medio's still in this. Troxel, though, kind of fell off there. And then Crampton and Charette, they're continuing to fall back. That is not good at all for either of these drivers, and they're starting to get to a point now where they're not going to have enough time to move back through the field. They're all over the place out here. But Matt Tuck looking to take this race lead from Christian Master.
Matt Tuck, he's got a fast car, and we're getting about to the point where every move you make is going to matter because we're getting into the closing stages. Time is running out here at Daytona. If you're going to make your move, you better make it now.
We got
And
13
Evans Ross is
laps to
making
go.
a move.
And everyone was like making a move down the backstretch there. 13 laps to go. 12 at the line here in the Valvoline 400. Christian Master has led most of these laps. But all these guys, especially LJ Cimento, Echo Evans Ross, Matt Tuck, they look very strong here tonight. And Echo's going to move to the inside with Spencer Garrison behind her. Seth Cole there on the inside. And you got Sebastian Kukulon as well. And it's still just anybody's game here at Daytona. And they are punching back up again. More 3 wide up front.
Now, this is getting hectic now. Everybody's going for everything. Sebastian Kukulon taking it 3 wide for second with a push from Trinity Ida. Drew Webb is on the inside. He's trying to make his way up to the front now.
Watch out for Drew Webb. You do not want him winning this race. Matt Tuck kind of back on that outside lane as Echo Evans Ross got around him. And this 39 trying to dethrone this 43 of Christian Master, but there's only 11 laps left in this race. Now here's the thing, all you got to do is beat them at the line. You don't have to clear them. And we'll just have to see if that ends up being the case for any of these guys. on that 43 of Christian Master, trying to get his first win of the season. Justin Zeidel's moving up through the field, and better believe Matt Tuck might be getting a little nervous right there after what happened last week. Drew Webb right behind the 51. You know Zeidel wants another win. Got the win at Road America, and arguably could have won last week if he didn't wreck. Philip Torres is up here as well, looking to get a cup win. You got Brad Stover, Tanner Parton on the inside, and once again, Sam Adeo just shot himself to the outside and fell back. Not at all what Sam Adeo needed. But Troxel's in the back of the field now, so is Ludovic Charette, Chase Buck, and Travis Crampton. And we're looking at Braden Perez, also in the outside lane. We're looking at Drew Webb. We're looking at Drew Webb taking this points lead right now as they run. And with 10 laps to go, he's in one of the best positions because he's on that inside lane, moving his way back up through this field.
Big push on the inside there from Trinity Ida from Justin Zeidel. And Drew Webb as well. They might have something for Christian Master, but run's going to stall out a little bit on the backstretch. Semedo gets the run on the outside, but it is chaos behind Christian Master right now.
It absolutely is. Matt Tuck, I'm sure he's not happy with the position he's in right now because he's kind of stuck in that outside lane. Trinity Ida back to the inside there for NS Racing. And then you got Zeidel, a new player here up front. Same with Drew Webb in the 99. I'd watch out for both of them here as this race goes on. That 99 in a great position as Perez is falling back. Perez only had 3 points on Drew Webb coming into this race. And now Drew Webb, who would have thought it would have played out the way it has for this 99? Because arguably he should have been 50 points ahead at this point if Michigan and New Hampshire and Watkins Glen didn't happen. You could say that about any of these drivers, but especially for Drew Webb's case. But who would have thought that he would have a position once again to take the points lead going into the finale race? And arguably, if you're Drew Webb, you don't really go for the win. You just keep it clean and get that top 5 and have everyone else behind you fall back. And with Sam Adeo, Troxel, all these other guys in the back, he's in a great position right now to take this points lead. But there's still 8 laps to go here in this Valvoline 400.
Oops. Webb slid up just a bit there. Stover thought about maybe 4 wide, but thought better of it. But Drew Webb, he's going to try to take it 3 wide for the race lead. I don't know if he has enough momentum. No, he doesn't. Master's going to clear Ida for the race lead once again.
And Master's just been the Pied Piper all night long in this 43. By far the best car here tonight. There for Racing Motorsports and Aaron Abel. Such a great run for these guys here. Still not over yet. I mean, Matt Tuck's getting back on that outside lane. If that inside stalls out a little bit more, they might have an advantage to possibly clear those 2 middle lanes, and I'm wondering if that's what Matt Tuck is hoping for right here. Of course, he doesn't want Drew Webb to end up winning this race because he goes in the Darlington, the points leader. That could seal it the way Drew Webb has been. But then again, all the issues that 99 team has had, nothing's guaranteed going into the finale next week.
For sure.
Brad Stover, great run for the 48.
How about Laura Chung in the 91?
And she is on the lead lap, unlike her teammate Zachary Fitzwater, who ended up a lap down right there. And back up front, Trinity Ida was looking there as Drew Webb to the inside of his teammate there for 3rd, and he's going to have a run on Ida. He might have a shot here for the race win in the Valvoline 400. It would be his 7th win of the season if he could pull it off. And definitely the biggest win of the season as well, if he can in fact do so. Watch out for Rogel Dorn in the 1. Winner at Talladega earlier this year. You know he's going to have a good shot at it. A lot of newer faces, though, kind of up front in this field who have not been up front here today. Troxel and Crampton trying to move their way on the inside. Sam Adeo's further back on the inside lane, but we keep on seeing that inside lane stall out. And that is evidenced by Master dominating this race from the outside. 5 laps to go in the Valvoline 400 in the Wawa Cup Series. Trinity Ida there in 2nd. They're still side by side for 3rd.
We've kind of seen the middle lane kind of disintegrate as we saw Echo Evans-Ross up front just laps ago. She's now struggling on the outside about mid-pack, but starting to see some of the chasers on the inside like Troxel, Crampton, and Sam Adeo trying to make one last charge to the front before the end of this thing. Trying to see what they can get.
It's definitely going to be interesting here because 5 laps to go, 4 laps to go next time by. We're not quite at the point of no return yet. But I don't know. Drew Webb's in a great position. And like I said, all he's got to do is essentially finish top 5 here because Matt Tuck's too far behind. He's 18 points behind him. Now, Matt Tuck still would love to get this win. If he wins and Drew Webb finishes where he is, as Trinity Idol loses it.
He tries to split the
and
middle.
Matt Tuck not taking any... Oh, boy, he's taking it all right there. I want to say not taking any risk. He took every risk imaginable right there. Cut back down to the inside, and he's going for second on LJ Cimento. And he might have enough momentum to have a shot in Master if he can clear the 71, which, that's a bit of a stretch right there on that inside. But Matt Tuck, if he can get Drew Webb to his back bumper, he might have a shot at getting to the 43 here.
Yeah, what a move by Tuck. He's going to stay to the inside of the 71.
And look now. I think we got 4 wide. Oh, it was close. That was close with Brian Webb. Sam Adeo there moving his way on the inside. Troxel's back in the middle. And Sam Adeo is trying to make a charge here. It's 3 laps to go in the Valvoline 400. Masters led nearly this entire race, but 3 chasers hounding his rear end here, trying to get this race victory. Matt Tuck behind. On the inside lane, he's going to have a lot more help this time around than he did last time. And look at Sam Adeo. Look at that 59. I'm sure you're loving this. Roberto Crown Jr. giving that 59 to push. All he's got to do is hold that inside and stay within reasonable distance of Drew Webb. 2 laps to go next time by here in the Valvoline 400. Matt Tuck trying to get to the quarter panel of Master.
Matt Tuck hanging strong. He's got the help from Drew Webb behind him. Trying everything he can to get by the 43. I know he wants to win badly.
And look at this 59, though. All he's got to do is hold it on the inside. He continues to move up through the field. He's cracking the top 10 right now. To the inside of Ludovic Charette there. Justin Zeidel. I am sure Drew Webb did not want to see that. But Drew Webb also doesn't want Matt Tuck to win because that 54 will gain on him as well. And Sam Adeo, is he going to try another one here on Rogaldorn?
Oh, boy. He's looking,
the good thing for Sam Adeo is that Ludovic Charette's kind of in that middle lane. I don't know. He may have stalled out there. We only got 1 more lap left. White flag in the air in the Valvoline 400. Matt Tuck and Christian Masters side by side here. Who's it going to be in this Valvoline 400? Sam Adeo once again lost the inside. If he can hold on to a top 10 run, that's going to be huge for him considering where he was. Master clearing out ahead. LJ Cimento. If Cimento wants a chance, he's got to clear the 54 right here.
I don't think he's going to. Does any of these guys have anything for Christian Master?
Matt Tuck going to try to get that push there from Drew Webb. Not happening. Also, Cimento, he can clear the 54, but he's not going to be able to do it. And Matt Tuck trying to hug this inside to have a chance. It's not going to be enough for Tuck, but Cimento, if he can clear, might have a shot. It's not going to happen. Long-time veteran Christian Master wins the Valvoline 400 here at Daytona. LJ Cimento in second. Matt Tuck will finish third. Drew Webb in fifth. And Nicholas Sam Adeo is going to retain the points lead going into the Southern 500 next week, finishing in the 10th position. Drew Webb's only going to gain 5 points on him. It'll be a 3-point gap between Sam Adeo and Drew Webb. And you better believe there'll be some others in contention as well. Matt Tuck going to gain a lot as well in this race. He gained 7 points on Sam Adeo. He'll be 19 behind. Don't think he led a lap in this event. Ludovic Charette there was behind Sam Adeo. And he'll be 38 behind. Not looking too good for him. And Troxel finishing in 23rd, losing 13. He'll be 17 behind our points leader. And then Braden Perez fell way back. He's 36th.
Oh, man.
Oh, no. That's 41 points behind for Perez. And there's still a mathematical chance, but that essentially sealed it. Chase Buck, he's out of championship contention from where he finished. Wow, you know, that was such a great race, a caution-free race at Daytona, but everything kind of turned over there near the end, and Caleb, That probably was the best 10th place finish you have ever had on your team, and the best 10th place finish Nicholas Samadeo has ever gotten. And what a drive for him near the end of that race to get up to 10th and barely hold on to this points lead ahead of Drew Webb going into the Southern 500 next week.
Remind me why he's named Mr. Edge again.
Mm-hmm.
But what a late race charge. I wonder if he was saving his stuff early on. Waited till late in the race to make his move, but what a race that was. Everybody going at it there late in the race. And caution-free super speedway races to me are just a majestic thing to watch. And
Absolutely.
I'm really glad this one went caution-free because we had a good one here tonight.
Absolutely. And this was the race we were hoping for here in this Valvoline 400, you know. Even though everyone was all over the place, it was still a clean race, and that's what we love to see. Obviously, we did not get a chance to see that last week. Big winners. Matt Tuck, obviously. Now, man, if he had won, he would have been even closer. But Matt Tuck is going to be going into the Southern 500 19 behind. You know, it's a bit of a stretch for him, but he's still got a better chance than Troxel does, I feel like. No, Troxel's going to be ahead of him by a couple points. Better chance than Crampton, because Crampton, you know, he lost 10 points there. He'll be 27 behind. Crampton will still have a mathematical opportunity. You know, are you talking about all these mathematical opportunities? Let's go ahead as you see the rest of the finishing results right there. Let's go ahead and actually export this out for you guys because, you know, we want to make sure we're accurate with this. But thoughts on this race, Caleb, and, you know, just great to see a clean race here at Daytona.
Yeah, that's always good to see a clean race here. And like I just said, just watching super speedway races go caution-free, just majestic. And it's just really awesome to see. Especially awesome for our bank accounts. But yeah, that was an amazing race. Just want to give congratulations to Christian Master. Great to see him win. And yeah, that was just an awesome race from all perspectives. We saw some chasers put all their effort into that. About all chasers put all the effort they could, and boy, that was entertaining to watch.
Absolutely. And you know, you just mentioned Christian Master getting the win. As you see the points on your screen, the Christian Master winning this race is huge because Master, you know, is a guy who has been around for a long, long time. Actually finished runner-up, I do believe, in the first ever race on the channel to Jesse Turner. Great to see him get that race victory. He actually just put himself ahead of Blaine Keys in the Best of the Rest championship right there, even though that's not an official championship. But here we go. I will apologize. I was wrong about Braden Perez. Braden Perez is only 31 points behind. I did make the mistake there. Samadeo gained about 22 points on Perez and not 32 like I was thinking. I did get ahead of myself, but still, you know, quite a ways behind. I would argue it's safe to say at this point that this championship is realistically between Nicholas Samadeo and Drew Webb. If either of those guys win next week, they win the championship. There's a 3-point gap between those two guys. Troxel, 17 behind. Matt Tuck is 19 behind. If Samadeo and Webb take each other out, watch out for them. Crampton's 27 behind. Perez is 31 behind. And Ludovic Charette, and even Chase Buck still has a slight chance there, 38 and 44, but has to get really crazy for those guys. But I think it's safe to say, from what you're seeing there, Caleb, as well, that it's between Nicholas Samadeo and Drew Webb, and between you and Igor Barreto. And Caleb, I gotta ask you, even though, you know, it's one of your drivers, who do you think has the advantage going into Darlington? Your driver, Nicholas Samadeo, or Drew Webb, who's won 6 times this year?
Well, I remember you saying mid-race that I'd have to probably give it to Drew Webb. He has been lights out this season, especially on those intermediate tracks. So we'll have to see what happens, but this is going to be an interesting one for sure.
No doubt about it. We've made it this far, folks. 29 races in. It's down to one more race. Next Sunday, September 2nd, noon Eastern Time, right here on AG the channel, the Mellow Yellow Southern 500 from the Darlington Raceway. 92 laps there, the lady in black. It's going to be a long race, and you have to be on your toes each and every lap. Don't get stuck in that outside lane in turns 1 and 2. You fall right back. Don't be on the outside on the exit at 2. You're going to slap the outside wall. Just so many things can go wrong at Darlington. You have to have a flawless race, and that's why it's the finale, because the best drivers go to the front at Darlington, and I think it's very reasonable to suspect that Drew Webb and Nicholas Sambadio will both be up front in next week's Southern 500. Watch out for Troxel and Matt Tuck as well, trying to steal something away. But Drew Webb and Sambadio going to give it their all next week, next Sunday at noon Eastern Time, right here on AG the channel. Well, Caleb, thank you so much for joining me for the call of this Valvoline 400. Such a classic race on the channel. Great to have it back. And caution-free here tonight. Christian Master led 38 laps. LJ Semedo led the other 2, and that was it. But, my goodness, the racing was intense the whole way through. And, we're going to have ourselves a great championship battle going into the finale next week. Congratulations to Christian Master on his race victory here in the Valvoline 400. Take a look at the finishing results one more time for you guys. And tomorrow, we got ourselves a championship to decide in the Haas IndyCar Series. The Haas World Championship, 200K tomorrow at noon Eastern Time. Luna Lona, Aaron Abel, Jay Knapp, and John Andrews going for the title. Who's going to get it done at the Tricky Triangle? Thank you so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Christian Master for winning the Valvoline 400. And on behalf of Caleb Rose, here are the point standings for the Wawa Cup Series after 29 races. And I will see you guys later.